了啊！好了，给我一个进了东西了啊！放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，进了东西，放了，好，放了，好了，好了，放，放了，放了，放了。
So guys, welcome. I don't even want to do this introduction. Let's just jump right in the hit. I have a heavy heart because of what I saw happening to our African brothers and sisters, both in Africa and also in China. But I'm gonna show you two videos. I cut it into two because there's multiple videos on this, but I'm using two tonight. So let's dive into it. Watch this video before me going further, and then you see where I'm so sad and I wish I could do something about it, but at the moment I can't. So, but what I can do is bring attention to this problem so it doesn't happen again or as often. Take a listen. Boom.
In a disturbing video that went viral, Deng Han is seen here whipping a Kenyan national for allegedly reporting late to work. Deng, who is a chef at Shewu restaurant in Kileleshwa, is seen asking the employee where he would prefer to be hit and then proceeds to whip him twice. In a raid carried out earlier today, the video caused outrage online, with many calling for investigations and stern action to be taken against the perpetrators. In a tweet, the Chinese...
So they said that first video. I have two videos. So that video, you see where in Kenya, in Nairobi, the gentleman that owns a hotel and the worker came late, and he see what he did in the video. And you see what even hurts even more is the fact that you have other African brothers in the background laughing at a Chinese native hitting a grown man as if he's a child. So that's my two issues, but I don't want to dive into it yet. Just watch this second video. This is going to be even more heartbreaking. Take a look.
啊，好了，给我一个进了东西了啊！放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，放了，进了东西，放了，好，放了，好了，好了，放，放了，放了，放了。
So there you have it, and this is unbelievable. I do not, I cannot and refuse to believe that this is happening in present day. It's happening, but I'm refusing to comprehend how this is allowed. So the first video with the gentleman, he was arrested. There's a picture of him and his two people, the two bosses. I think his father and son. They was arrested and charged eventually. But so let's discuss it. Let's dive into it. What could cause something like this where a black brothers and sisters who are being abused? Because there was a video for this young teacher that went to China and her eyes, the thought of it getting me upset. Anyway, so what could cause these things to happen? There's mainly one reason. When a black person from any country, from the Caribbean or from Africa, when you travel to work in any other country illegally, this tends to happen when a boss can ill treat you and don't pay you, abuse you, because what? Who are you gonna run to? You cannot go to you're afraid to go to the police because they will deport you, and you're afraid to report it to anyone else because you're afraid of losing your job and you're losing your way to earn. And what can even make it worse is if when you go to a foreign country to work and you have to stay with people who you're working for. So they are the one who taking care of you, putting you somewhere to stay. So that even make it even worse. And sometimes what they do, they take the passports of our young brothers and sisters who travel illegally to other countries to work, and they get blatantly abused. So anyway, so the first video, when you see the other gentleman in the video laughing of watching his brother get hit, at this time it is him. What will happen if it's you next? Will you be laughing in the background same way as if it's a joke? You will never see a black employer whooping on a white person or a Chinese person or Indian person, and there's other Chinese or Indian or white person there, and they're laugh in the background. They will not. They will always defend their own. Why is it we are the ones that who does not defend our own in the situations? We tend to point and laugh as if it's funny. Those days should have been over where we are acting off on blacks and being whipped and beaten for doing labor and being unpaid. And it's still happening in the modern day, but on a more discreet level. As I said, I've seen, well, I haven't seen it literally, but I've experienced going to work for somebody, especially I'm a white person, and they talk to you a certain way. But I'm the kind of person you can talk to me in some kind of way because number one, I'm not illegal. I'm legal in the country. I have my documents. So when I'm legit, there's nothing you can tell me to have me believe that if I lose my job, I'm gonna starve because I can get another job. And something similar happened when our boss tried to talk to me in a certain manner, and I had to check him. Listen, me, I'm not a slave. You don't own me. Watch your mouth and watch your cars. Me personally, pin on a slap. So he kind of backed up. But I've seen that said boss talk to other workers as if they are his child. I'm talking about a grown man in the 50s and 60s. I checked in on it. And I also tell them, why are you accepting this kind of abuse, verbal abuse from a white man it blows my mind. I don't care who you are, but you cannot talk to me and treat me any kind of way. So I could understand what these, especially the one in the second video where you see the one is beating and kicking the African brother. Yes, it's some of them have to take it because of poverty and education, uneducated, and so they are taken for these purposes to work on these farms specifically because they don't know any better. Because imagine if you are so poor that you cannot you can afford to take care of your family, and you finally get a job and you're getting some money. That helps your family to come out of poverty, but you have to go through so much ill treatment, and it's happening globally in every major city you can think of on this planet, from France to America to England to Holland, all these major cities, countries in the world. They all does this. They specifically hire illegal people, especially Africans, especially Africans, and they do these things. They put them up in horrible places. Then they don't pay them properly. They pay them less than half what they should earn. They still garnish their wages. They barely feed them properly, and they cannot report it to no one because most of the day they just lock them in at night. Basically, like literally put them in a room and lock the door so they can't come out. I've heard stories of when people go to America to go on farm working where they to pick oranges or grapes or strawberries, and the treatment that they get and beatings from some of these owners. It blows my mind that these things are still happening and people are still accepting it all because of the dollar. No money is worth your dignity. It does not worth your dignity to be whipped, beaten, talked to as if you're an animal or if you're a child. These things are not worth having making. No, let me just put it this way. It all depends because I can understand some people's situation where they don't have the funds, but sometimes they actually get unalive because of the hardship they went through. It does not worth your life to bend down to that kind of level. Best if you have to go to someone country illegally, it better stay in the country and try to stick it out and work. But to go to a country illegally is very, very dangerous in this day and age, and especially with other races treating us Africans, guys. There's a mass migration. There's always people going to, especially England, Holland, and America and France when it's crossing the Mediterranean in unsafe boats. And again, I understand the need for it, the need for that they think that they have to travel, but sometimes it's glamorized and in movies, it's glamorized and in music videos, or you come to America or come to England or come to France and you will make it, you'll be rich and you can drive because it's a dream they're selling to get these people here to put them into basically slave labor. So that's what's happening on a global level. Well, the Chinese government responded when these videos went viral, and they're trying to squash it, quarrel, because Africa is heavily invested by the Chinese. They spend over the last time I checked like 70 billion. They have all this invested in Africa, so they don't want to lose that money. So they are trying to rein it in. But I do not blame the entire race for a few people for what some of these Chinese nationals are doing. I do not blame the entire race for what they're doing. I just blame individuals, because I cannot. If it was the other way around, we don't want someone to say all black people, so we can say all Chinese. But most of them are racist. They don't like black people. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. That's why you don't really find Asians hiring black people in their restaurants, in their supermarkets globally. Pick a country and go into these, are they mostly hire their own. So I know they don't like us. Just as how the Indians doesn't like Africans, and just as we know the whites don't. So we have to go to that. But the Asians and the Indians, they are like right under the totem pole of people who don't like our race. So anyway, let me know what you think about this video, and if you agree with me on some of it, or some of my take on it, and my thoughts, and then put it in the comment section as well. If you have watched the video to this point, just click the like button, tell a friend, like, comment, share, subscribe. I don't know that works, and I'll always respond there. I'll always respond. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Peace. Boom.